Welcome to Brewing Success with Black Coffee, where we uncover the secrets of thriving entrepreneurship. Join us as we explore inspiring stories, innovative strategies, and the power of community, all fueled by the love of coffee. Get ready to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit and brew your own path to success.
Hey there, welcome to Brewing Success with Black Coffee. My name is Samara Poe, and I have with me one of the co-founders of Black Coffee, Jamin Butler.
How y'all doing?
What's up, what's up?
Very proud to be here.
Thank you, I'm happy to be here too. So Brewing Success, this series that we're creating is gonna be focusing on the pillars of community, financial freedom, along with entrepreneurship. So today we're gonna focus on the finances. We're gonna talk a little bit about the money today.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we talk about the finances, we get into the nitty-gritty of what you need to know as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. We're also gonna be making a special treat today. So what are we gonna be making?
Well, for you today, I'll be making my favorite beverage. It's a vanilla latte, but I call it Pisces style because I add a little secret ingredient, something we make here in our coffee shop.
Okay, Pisces style. Are you a Pisces?
I am a Pisces.
Okay, I like it. My son is a Pisces.
Oh, good people. There we go.
Good people. Right. Gotta keep the hands clean. When you're exploring what options that you do want to have available to people and the different add-ins that you want to be able to put into people's tea and coffee, how do you go about that selection?
Well, first, it's all about quality. Right. Our coffee beans, we source those from farmers and co-ops that practice ethical labor standards, that have strong growing processes, so there's no deforestation, that they're preserving the land as they grow and work it. So it's a selection of our coffee beans come first with the sourcing. Mm-hmm. After that, that's where it gets fun, right? The thing that we love about coffee is that everybody has it their own way. Mm-hmm. They have their preference. As I mentioned, we'll be making my vanilla latte Pisces style.
Pisces style.
But some folks, they like a caramel macchiato. They love that little caramel taste. Some folks, they like it very sweet. They want all the syrups. They want vanilla, they want caramel, they want mocha, a cheesecake, you name it. And I love it. People like coffee just like they like everything else. It's custom to them, and that's what we're able to do here at Black Coffee.
I love it. Okay, what's our first step?
So our first step, so now you got your gloves on, we're gonna go ahead and grab yourself a cup.
Okay.
We're gonna start with these 12 ounces, so one for you, one for me.
Okay.
Next first thing you do is you grab your coffee sleeve, your coffee sleeve right there.
Sleeve. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Let me get one of those too, please.
Here you go.
Thank you, thank you. You're gonna open that sleeve up. Now these sleeves are nice, they're decorative, they have our logo on it, but they also serve a very important purpose. They keep folks from burning their hands, because when you're drinking hot coffee, you want it warm, but you don't want it hot to touch. So It's important to have these sleeves on here. The first step is going to our espresso grinder. You need to, when you have an espresso shot, it has to have a specific grind. So we use our espresso grinder for that. It's very fine.
Ooh.
So this is called your portafilter. This is what catches the actual coffee grinds. Get it measured, and then you want to tamp it down with this tamper. Okay. Not too much pressure, but just enough. You want to get the grinds even in the portafilter.
Okay, nice.
Anything
and even.
extra, you want to just dust it right on off. And see, you have a nice flat surface there. Next, we're going to come on over to our espresso machine. We're using our La Marzocco. I always like to clear it first because you want it fresh, so you don't want any leftover residue from the previous pull. Now we're going to insert this portafilter right in here. I'm going to insert it and turn it counterclockwise till it locks in there. Once you got that locked, next you're going to need your shot catcher. Now one thing that we do here at Black Coffee, and every coffee shop does it different, we like to put our syrups here in the shot catcher. We feel like the syrup and the espresso, they get to marinate together. So like I said, we're going to do our vanilla latte Pisces style. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do 3 pumps of vanilla. Swirl that in here. I'm going to sit it right here, but I'm not going to pull the shot. Next, we're going to get our frothing pitcher. This is where we put our milk. Now, like I mentioned, everybody has their favorite. Some folks like traditional cow milk. Some folks love almond.
I'll be doing the oat.
I will as well, because I find it's healthier for you, and it actually tastes better with your latte. That's just my opinion, though.
Okay.
So you're going over here to your fridger, grab your oat milk,
Now, which brand do you guys typically use?
We like Oatly for the consistency and the taste. All milks are different, so you explore, find what you like, but we like the consistency when pouring.
I keep a Oatly at home too, so you know we on the same page. So when we're looking at machines like this, right, you guys have a lot of equipment going on back here. How long did it take to kind of curate, you know what I'm saying?
It took from opening our doors on Juneteenth of 2021 till about, I'd say the spring of 2022, we didn't have all our coffee equipment. We literally opened our coffee shop with just 2 coffee pots, a kettle to do pour overs, and some cups for tea. It was that important for us to get our doors open to the community so they could taste these high quality ingredients that we were offering. But once we did, they immediately started telling us what else we needed to add and what we needed. And the number one request, it was a demand from my wife, is that we had an espresso machine because she loves lattes and we weren't able to make one without this fancy piece of equipment. And it's very expensive, so we needed to take time to raise the funds to get it. Have it.
Is it giving heart?
Is it giving heart? Now I mentioned it's a vanilla lavender latte, Pisces style, but I have a secret ingredient, something I like to add just for my latte. And that is our house-made lavender simple syrup. We make this here in our shop. We brew it fresh daily. Lavender leaves with some sugar.
Black coffee exclusive.
Yes, indeed. I'm gonna give a nice little squirt right through the heart, like an arrow. And there you have it.
Nice.
Take our lid here, secure that on top, and we have a vanilla lavender latte, Pisces style. And I'm gonna let Sam be the
taste test.
The judge.
Taste test. Here we go. Drum roll. That's really good.
All right, there we go.
I think I might have a new favorite. Usually when I come, I get the bag lady.
Okay.
Love the bag lady, you know, light ice, extra lavender, but this is really, really good.
The bag lady is a green tea. It's a green tea based drink versus this is an espresso based drink.
I like it. How did you scale your business by taking in customer feedback, but also remaining conscientious of like the costs of everything?
So that is a very delicate dance that we don't always do well, right? You want to make sure that you're meeting the customer demand, that you're providing them the service and the quality that they expect, because that's how you're going to be successful, right? Getting those customers through the door to drive revenue. But then you also have to balance that with the cost of operating, of acquisition, of maintaining these items. And there's maintenance when you get in some high-powered equipment. There's also getting in, if you want to bring in all these syrups and these different additive options, they each cost. You have to find who you're going to source them from. Then you have to consistently be able to acquire those items. This is a practice that we built up over time. So it was a try it, do it again, try it, make a little deviation, try, and then we'll formulate it as a process. Flash forward about 3 years now, and we're able to get all our quality products delivered on time on a recurring schedule. We have a monthly budget that we're tracking and make sure that we're not exceeding the operational costs so that we meet our objectives. But in the beginning, it took a lot of practice, and we did a lot of fundraising. In order to scale this business, truthfully, it would cost upwards of $150,000 to open, build out the shop, get the equipment you needed to really go. So we had to do that. And us being, we're self-funded, right? Yeah. So, my partners and all, we all HBCU graduates, we all have different careers, but that we don't make enough, nor we can just excess cash and write checks to run this business.
Were you all Xavier University?
Yes, blessed. We are blessed. And I'll shout out my partners, Dr. Leonard Lightfoot, Christopher Bolden, Brandon Cole, and Gino Jones were all Xavier alumni. So that was where we really forged our bond and maintained that relationship over the decades.
Go to an HBCU.
Yes, indeed.
Change your life.
It will. But if you don't, you can still follow this model. And that's what we really built out. We wanted to create a model that it doesn't matter who you are or where you reside, as long as that you have a sound financial mind. So just start with budgeting. Then you have an entrepreneurial mindset where you realize, hey, I can create something and add value. Then you need to look into your community to figure out who you can work with. right? And that's something that we came to the table with, so it made the lift a lot easier. But so when we was time to do fundraising in order to raise money for this business, each person, you went out to your family and friends. Chris called his mom. I called my mother. You know, Leonard reached out to his cousins. We all collectively brought our family to the table, and we've done 6 rounds of family and friends financing, and we've raised, I think, collectively almost $300,000.
Okay, 300K. What do we need to give to them that would make them feel comfortable investing $300,000 worth of money into like the business that you're creating?
Well, one, it starts with a plan, right? Everybody has an idea. You know, everybody has a business idea. I think I'm gonna get rid of, make this great. Ideas are great. Plan is where the idea meets paper.
Right.
When you can commit that idea to paper and really document over a time frame of how you're going to accomplish that objective, that actually builds trust and credibility that you did more than just sit around, come up with a quick idea, and then you ask me for money. You put thought into it. So that's the first thing we did. We committed our pen to paper, and we actually developed a pitch deck. And you can use a slide like Google Slides or PowerPoint or whatever, Canva, whatever app that you have availability to, just build a slide deck. Our slide deck was simple. It had maybe 10 slides. It talked about who we were. It talked about our objective. We showed our track record and our financials. And at that time, we were operating in the red, meaning we had spent more than we were bringing in the business. But being transparent with that, because the reality is all startups start that way.
Yeah.
Unless you have some generational fund that you're able to tap right away, and still you're borrowing that money if it's an investment.
Yeah.
So all businesses start out in the red. It's having that plan and being able to, in that pitch deck, to demonstrate that, hey, by year 2, this is our goal. We want to have brought in this much money, and we're going to do that by doing this each month. We're going to work with these people. Identify your partners, identify your suppliers, identify the challenges in the market that you're in, and then identify the opportunities. For us, we took that pitch deck and we circulated that out to our family and friends. And after a bunch of no's, we got a lot of promises, but we actually able to get a few deposits. And we started with no minimums. So $100, $50, it didn't matter. We just wanted to build trust, and we get promised a 12-month return. Within 12 months, we would start paying that back. Now that made a huge lift for us down the road, and we accomplished it. To date, we've paid back rounds 1, 2, and 3. But as we got a little wiser to this, we started to extend those terms so that we'll pay you back in 36 months. So it gives us more runway to build out that business.
When we're looking to explore how important, right, the finances are in starting a business, I actually kind of appreciate that you said that all startups start in the red, right? But how long is like an appropriate time to kind of exist there, or like how do you come up with like the terms, right, of an investment or a contract?
So 2 questions. The first part is in terms of how long are you in the red.
Yeah.
You would be surprised at how many huge operations. I'm talking about multi-millions, and companies that we know very well are not profitable. They operate in the red. And in fact, most of these tech startups, they're operating in the red. They're spending more, they're hiring more, then they're building out their business for the market that they're creating, but right now they're in the red. Solopreneurs, I've shifted completely out of my career and I'm focusing on my business. You need to turn a profit at a certain point or you'll exhaust your savings. So it's all about it's a situational analysis,
right,
and then looking at a realistic time frame for, hey, I can go this amount of time frame where I got these saving or I got this reserve, but you really need to be monthly tracking that and making sure you're accomplishing your objectives. Your second question about documentation, we created a promissory note. And that's what a majority of folks that do family and friends lending, it's a simple document that you can get on from LegalZoom, or you can create a template that you find online and make it yourself. And so that's what we created, and we did that for our first 5 rounds. We used that piece of paper to do over 150K. Round 6, we decided to go a new platform. We tried online equity funding through a site called Seat at the Table, and they kind of managed all of that back end for us.
Okay, tools. I like the throwing out of the tools and stuff like that. So I definitely want to continue this conversation. So let's take a seat, shall we?
Absolutely.
Jamin.
Yes.
Entrepreneurs need the money. We need the money. So we're going to talk a little bit more, or we're going to dive a little bit deeper into, what it looks like for us as entrepreneurs, business owners, businesses as a collective to get to the bag. You guys have been established since 2018,
Yes.
right? How has your financial strategy changed from when you all were just starting to this stage in the game these years later?
Yeah, it's changed, right?
Yeah.
Based on the needs and the growth of the business, we've had to adapt and change a little bit of our philosophy. Our CFO, Dr. Leonard Lightfoot, could tell you that when we first launched the business in 2018, we were very, very focused on our principles of financial literacy, right?
Mhm.
That's like having a good budget, that's saving, trying to eliminate debt. And in fact, one of our operating models at the time was that we'd have zero debt for our business. So we would
Mm.
have no credit cards, we didn't have any loans, we hadn't borrowed any money at that time. We were just financing the business out of the money that we had set aside for our investment club.
Mhm.
So we generated some success there. So we took the profits we made and invested that into our business. In addition, we took the monthly dues that we were setting aside each month for the investment club and shifted that into investing in our business. So we were self-funding, or as another term you'll hear, bootstrapping
Bootstrapping.
ourselves, right? Paying out of your own pocket to run your business. And we did that for the first, 2.5, 3 years successfully. But once it was time to really, really scale up and actually open the doors to our brick and mortar, when we shifted from having the pop-up model to
Mhm.
actually focusing on opening our doors to a brick and mortar coffee shop, that's when we realized we would have to change our mindset and adapt some older strategies that had been tried and true.
Yeah. So, how many Black coffee locations are there?
As of today, there is only one Black coffee location, our coffee shop, our flagship, our headquarters.
Mhm.
It is located in the Lakewood Heights area of Atlanta, Georgia,
Mhm.
1800 Jonesboro Road, Southeast. We are located on the southeast side of Atlanta, about 10 minutes from downtown,
Mhm.
15 minutes to the airport.
And are you still exploring that pop-up model in other spaces?
Absolutely. We never stopped doing pop-ups,
Okay.
going to vendor events, doing catering. In fact, we kind of been able to scale it up a little bit and make sure that we're offering a better quality of service when we're coming out to meet the public. And that's one of the things that will never change. We'll always go out to meet the people because that's where the opportunity lies when you're connecting direct, face to face with people. We have a wonderful social media strategy. I handle majority of the marketing for us, but there's nothing that can replace that actual connection with people. In phase one, we wanted to make sure we were practicing those sound financial strategies and having, focusing on budgeting and saving.
Mhm.
By phase two, we had to be a little more entrepreneurial in our mindset and think about how can we grow and what other resources could we tap into. So that
Mhm.
meant going to the bank and then getting a line of credit. That meant getting a credit card. That meant applying for loans as well.
Like they say, big risk, big reward.
Exactly. If you
Mhm.
want to go far, you're going to have to take, a big
You
shot.
gotta jump.
Indeed. And we have been able to do so, but we had to get out of our comfort zone.
Mhm. So for those budding entrepreneurs that are out there that are, looking to kind of, grow, especially financially or understand like the correct financial path to like take, what are some pitfalls that you would tell them to avoid?
Avoid. Okay, so don't run out and just get a credit card and start spending money, right? That's not the
Okay.
strategy.
So I need to send it back to the bank.
No, no, no. So we talk about to have an actual plan and a budget in place before you spend the funds, right?
Mhm.
Go out and do your research, write down the cost of the equipment that you're trying to buy, the supplies that you need to get, come up with some projections for your payroll if you're opening a brick and mortar, if you're having a space that requires employees,
Mhm.
and think about your rent if you're going to have a brick and mortar. How much are you going to pay for that year? Put
Mhm.
all that committed out for at least a 12-month. And truthfully, you need to plan out 3 to 5 years. But to start out, plan out a 12-month strategy of budgeting.
Mhm.
Where is your money going to go? So that'll tell you how much money you need to go out and raise or that you're going to
Right.
bring in.
Okay. So what about for those people that have already jumped, right? They've already jumped, they've already taken the leap, but they don't necessarily have like that financial plan in place right now.
I would say, for one, get a coach, right? There are so many agencies and association and groups of people that are willing to help small business owners meet you where you are, whether you're a solopreneur and you just launched last week or you've been at this game now for 20, 15, however many years, there's always people who can provide you information and resource that you may not have accessed. Recently, we've been involved in a numerous, I guess, cohorts or pilot programs that are all about being accelerators that are providing you access to not only information and materials, but people who had the experience.
Mm-hmm.
I want to shout out Invest Atlanta. That was an organization that we worked with. It's actually a CDFI, so they provide loan products that are federally backed,
Mm-hmm.
but they have low interest rates, but they also have strict requirements in terms of the paperwork and the details and the budgeting. And they actually needed our full business plan
Yeah.
3 years out, all everything, every I dotted and crossed before they would actually fund that. And
Mm-hmm.
it took a long time to get those funds, but the process that they took us through in order to be prepared for that, it really made us ready to hit the ground running once we did get our account funded.
Mm-hmm.
I'll mention, if you're getting certified as a minority business enterprise, there's many associations from the SBA to the National Minority Supplier Development Council. They have groups, they have meetups, they have
Mm-hmm.
virtual calls, they have online. One organization that has been fundamental in us growing, I have is the 1 Million Black Business Initiative started by Operation Hope in partnership with Shopify.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you can go online to their website and sign up today. It's free to sign up. Not
Mm-hmm.
only will they email you different materials and opportunities and events that you participate in, you will get assigned to a coach that'll help you grow your business. You can attend webinars, you can sign up for in-person events.
Wow.
In addition, you can also get assistance with opening your e-commerce account if you're selling your products online. So
Mhm.
I'll say all that to say there are numerous groups and organizations that can help you get ready and put you in the place so that when now you need that funding, you have the skill set to how to handle it and how to deploy it in a
Mhm.
way that's going to help you grow your business.
So, what role have these different, organizations and the sponsorships and grants that you've gotten, what role have they actually played in the success of Black coffee?
Oh, there's been a huge lift. I tell you, acquiring capital for a business, it's the life you live or death, right? If you can't bring in capital, you can't grow the business, you can't buy the equipment, the supplies, you can't pay your
You
people.
got to spend money to make money.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's America, right? And you have to find ways to be savvy to do that. And these organizations have provided us the resources, the people, folks who have already been down that road, so we don't have to make a bunch of mistakes trying to figure it out. We can learn from their journeys.
And I think that that's something too that a lot of entrepreneurs fall into that pit of like thinking, okay, I got to figure all this out myself. I got to fund all this stuff myself. I have to be the one to figure it out. Where when it's really like, no, the resources, the outlines, the blueprint already exists, but we need to launch into finding those things for ourselves.
Absolutely. And it's okay to try a few things, but do you want to walk down your business is only going to be as successful as the people you surround it with, right? So if it's just you and you're just bringing in all the skill set and information that you have, how can it truly grow if you're not feeding it? It's just like a child when
Yeah.
you look at it, right? Do you want to Some folks homeschool their kids, but eventually you want your kid to be out there in the world getting information and having other experiences that are going to form their future.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing with your business. You want to put your kid in the best schools, you want your business with the best coaches and programs.
What does it look like to like look at the budget, look at the finances, and then go, or have that decide what you do next?
It's a process, right? We look at our quarterly, we're looking at our budgets, our outflows, eat and determining, where do we need to cut back, and looking at our objectives in terms of growing the brand and the marketing and seeing where we need to invest more. Black Coffee Fest, it accomplishes multiple goals, right? So it's not only just, yes, it brings in revenue when selling tickets and selling merch and bringing in booths and sponsors, but it also really allows us to meet other entrepreneurs and connect them to resources and programs and help do that empowerment that's really essential to the mission of our business.
Mhm.
Also, it helps us bring in other partners. We learn from meet so many different people in different areas that help inform our business and how we grow. So we look at it as a strategic investment for helping us scale the business, but also a marketing opportunity for beginning brand awareness, and it brings in revenue as well. Then with the coffee truck, that allows us to grow and really, I
Coffee
tell
coffee what?
the coffee truck.
You got a coffee truck?
Not yet. That's the goal. We're doing our research now and doing the
Oh.
homework. We
What does
raised
that look like?
it'll so I tell everybody our coffee shop is the mother, it's the home, it's the conduit, the platform where you get to feel black coffee. But we have to do magic tricks in order to get people to keep coming through the door every single day, every week, versus knowing that there's a huge festival, one music fest is going on here, or R&B festivals going there. We can pack up the truck and head to where the people are already. I don't have to do the work to get them. I just need to go bring the product to them. That's it's a win-win for us.
So you're finding your customer base where they're at.
Exactly. Going
Mhm.
to them versus having to bring them to me. It
Right.
just reduces a lot of that effort, and I can go straight to giving them that quality black coffee. So right now, I'd say our business, we're operating at just over, in terms of how much revenue we bring in on an annual, is just over $500,000.
Mhm.
And we have a goal to get to 1 million within the next 12 months.
Okay, a milli?
Yes, yes, and it's doable. It's not just a number we threw out there. We're actually looking at the projections of how much money we're bringing in monthly, and then we'll say, okay, if we add this additional business unit that can bring in revenue, how much more does it take to get to the $1 million? So it's really a math formula.
Hmm. So I want to dive into Black Coffee Festival. How do you manage planning and investing into something like that while also keeping the operations of the business running smoothly as well?
It is a delicate dance that we do every single day, right? It's not something I think that we've perfected, but we've gotten accustomed to doing it. This is our third annual festival now, so
Mhm.
we have a better, thank you, we have a better feeling in terms of the cost and the lift and what it takes to deliver that. And we've been operating a coffee shop now for 3 years, and every day, every week, we're iterating, we're changing, we're making sure we're refining our process, we're looking at the team, make sure we have the right people in place to really achieve these objectives. So I don't want to say it's easy, but it's become something that we can do well, and then we can just say, oh, if I just put a little more, oregano right there, I
Mhm.
can make this even better, right? Just add a little this. Now we're just
Add a little
tweaking it.
cinnamon.
Exactly. We're just tweaking things now to make them better, right? The truck and the roasting facility, that's kind of the new space where we'll be like, oh, how do I do this?
Right.
Versus, we've gotten accustomed to how to operate this space and do it well.
Erin, which is the general manager, also your wife, um, kind of explained how you somewhat have like a jump first, figure it out later mentality, right? And I think that a lot of entrepreneurs have that same mentality where it's like, I'm going to jump in and then I'm just going to figure it out later. What has it been like, you know, operating from a space of like jump first, figure it out later to saying we're still gonna jump, but this, now we have some strategy and I can't just jump.
It's tough, right? Because that's just my personality. That's how
Yeah.
I view the world and my place in it. Thankfully, though, I'm a partners. I have a team, and we all have different levels of comfort when it comes to risk. And some are more risk adverse, some are more lean into it, and that balance allows, like, while I'm jumping out the plane first, I have to say that I got know my brother has the parachute and he's coming right after me. So it's that I'm allowed to do that thanks to the grace of our team.
Mhm,
We cover each other's backs. I
mhm.
want to shout out my brothers again, Dr. Leonard Lightfoot, Gino Jones, Christopher Bowden, Brandon Cole. I got to shout out the amazing team. Those are our founders, but
Yeah.
it's truly the women that have stepped up and have really made our business get to the next level. You
Mm.
mentioned my wife, Erin Butler, our general manager. I got to shout out Shannon Stone. She is our brand manager. She meets so many people and allowed us to create so many different opportunities. I shout out Dina DeGraffin Reed. She is our shop manager. She is the one that handles our schedule, make sure we have all the freshest ingredients ready for the team,
Mhm.
and so many others that contribute.
And I love that too, the importance of having a team. A lot of us are solopreneurs, right? We are doing it alone, doing it by ourselves. But what I'm hearing a lot throughout these conversations are that having a team leads to just it's more balanced.
Mhm.
It's a more balanced experience. You have a group of minds that you can constantly have the conversation with about, hey, what are we doing? What direction are we going in? And then let's say like, a mistake does happen. It kind of falls onto everybody,
Mhm.
right? In a way that everybody can carry the burden together versus having to handle all that by yourself.
Which is, I feel I have so much empathy and love and appreciation for all our solopreneurs out there. I think there's so many courageous business owners that have just stepped out and lead, and they do it so well. But I've also heard so many stories on the other side of how hard that is,
Yeah.
and how there's usually no one to comfort, no one to come to for support. And that's really what we've tried to create with the Black Coffee Company, is a platform, right? We know that we were blessed with, and we're thankful, but everybody hasn't been as fortunate. So how can we bridge that gap? That's one of the reasons we created Black Coffee Fest. Yeah, it's a wonderful celebration. We have fun, we grow our brand, but truthfully, what we do is we build connections, we build partnerships, right?
Mhm.
If you may be a solo entrepreneur out selling clothes, you may be a solo entrepreneur selling candles, you may be out here selling drinks, but if y'all come together, now you guys have a network and group where y'all can share different opportunities, y'all can share customers, you can help improve each other's brands and give each other's tips. And that's really the magic of the festival itself, is that we've seen so many people come together, branch off, create their own new businesses, launch. They're going to go in on a brick and mortar together.
Right.
That's the real magic, and that's where we really feel pride, is that this, yes, we're succeeding, but so many other people are succeeding because we've helped create space.
When we speak to the financials on its own, or we speak to the community empowerment on its own, or the entrepreneurship, the important thing is that all of those pillars blend into one another. You can't have the success of the other two without the success of that third.
Exactly. And for me, it's like a mod. It's a for me, it's a model, it's a formula,
Yeah.
right? If you have a financial mindset in terms of thinking about balancing and saving and budgeting, you're going to need to combine that with an entrepreneurial vision in terms of, okay, take what I've saved and the money and the resources, and how can I deploy that in a way that helps me grow my goals and helps other people around me. That's having an entrepreneurial mindset. And then when you're practicing those two, that's really, you're uplifting the community by doing that and getting other people in with you. Now you're empowering folks, and you've created something that can sustain and just work. You know, that's the goal.
I love that Black Coffee, the Black Coffee Company is, I mean, you guys have almost made it so simple. The formula is it, you guys give us the formula
Yeah.
like immediately, even as soon as you walk into the shop. Community empowerment, entrepreneurship, financial freedom.
Yes.
So I know that, we're exploring community in another episode of ours, but I want to speak a little bit to the community. Now, I know that you guys have received those different rounds of funding. It's friends and family, right?
That is correct.
And that wouldn't have been able to be possible if you hadn't reached out to your community
Yes.
in order to get that funding, right?
Mhm.
So, how or with that process, what does it feel like to have multiple rounds of funding, right? And people constantly supporting the vision, providing the funding. Like what feeling are you like filled with?
I feel it's an amazing feeling and awe. You sometimes you deal with that imposter syndrome. It's
Yeah.
like, why they you give y'all really trust me with this money? Like, they don't know that I'm just Jamin from South Central, who just, I'm just confidently walking into all these situations and hoping they're gonna work out.
Yeah.
And working my, butt off to make it happen. And
For
I
sure.
think, you know, it's just my wife, I have this thing I do. I don't really talk to people about it, but I tell them I'm an extroverted introvert, right? I can go out and be around people and talk and make folks, be all that. But truly, I like to be alone and
Mhm.
think in my thoughts and do my thing. And when I have an accomplishment or achievement or something happens, or I get a notification about something, I do a quiet roar, right? Or I yell, I scream, I beat my chest, but it's just me to myself. And it's just for me, and it makes me feel good, right? It's how I going keep going for a new challenge or a new opportunity. My wife always asks, she's like, I want to be home when you do that. But I was like, it's embarrassing. I don't, I don't do it's just for me, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of how I deal with it, how I keep going and, reinforce it.
I know a lot of people think that like getting those sponsorships or even grants, etc., is probably easy, right? But I want to dive into like what's actually needed there in order for people to be taken seriously and looked at seriously when it comes to these companies providing money.
I'll say, number one thing is proof of concept, right?
Mhm.
You can have a great idea, you can have a wonderful plan, but until you've actually shown and demonstrated to people that, hey, this is what it says it is, and I'm going to go ahead and follow this plan, whether you support it or not,
Mhm.
you're not gonna get that because people want to see that you have the skin in the game. They want to see that you've gone through something in order to have more trust. Like
Yeah.
they want to feel that okay, this person has been open, they've been transparent, they're hardworking, and it's clear the proof is in the pudding
Yeah.
that they're gonna do this with or without my support.
Mhm.
And that's fine. Like that's how why people have just gravitated towards us
Yeah.
because we're gonna do this. We started on our own without any support. We did our first, and as we continue to do it, whether we get a sponsor or don't, we're gonna execute this festival.
Mhm.
Now you can help make it even better, or you can just come and attend. But either way, it's gonna happen. Now, do you want to attach your name to something that's gonna be amazing,
Right.
or do you want to watch somebody else get those accolades?
Right. And watch the price go up because yesterday's price is not today's price.
Say it again.
Okay, well, thank you so much for diving into this. For me, for our audience, our community, I know that there's so many gems that people are going to be able to take away just in terms of like the finances, but I'm really excited to be able to dive more into our other episodes so that, they can get all three of those well-rounded pillars, the formula.
There you go. That's what it is. We call it a formula for success.
The formula for success. Well, thank you so much, Jamin. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And make sure that you all stay tuned to catch more episodes of Brewing Success with Black Coffee. My name is Samara Poe, and we'll catch you next time.